Okay. Well, hello, freedom seekers. So just give me 1 minute here and I'll be right back. Okay. Just all kinds of things going on today, and I am really kind of rushed here for time, but I am here, and so it's good to be here. It's always good to be here on Monday night to do these live streams, and so for a few minutes here, we'll just kind of chat and see if someone will end up joining us for the live stream. Today is actually the past week has been just really. I guess a crunch would be a good way to put it, in that I've got this consultant that is working with me, teaching me how to do YouTube advertising. And he's not cheap. He's a 10-week minimum contract with him. So it's $1,000 a week. And basically I get about 2 hours of his time every week for that $1,000, and so I'm trying to make the best use of it. And every week I've got just tons of work to do, and in order to complete and get this program and project off the ground. But so yeah, it's expensive, and it's the most that I've personally I think I've ever paid for basically a coach or teacher or consultant to help me to learn how to do something. There's a lot of other ways I could have done this, where I could have taken some lower cost courses, what have you. But in this case, this situation, I wanted to learn from the best, and so I went ahead and I bit the bullet, and I put out my chunk of money and just said, yes, I want to learn from the best. But then, being it's $1,000 a week to learn from the best, then I want to try to keep up and do what I am needing to do every week. And I have fallen way behind. And so for the last week, have been just crunching, trying to get these things done and that I need to do, because even though that I spend time learning from my consultants and my consultant staff every week, but there's training modules for me to go through that are online, and with each of those modules, there's lots of work that I have to do to complete and actionable items in order to really learn how to really be an expert at advertising on YouTube. And so the project that I'm working on right now is that I have a coach, a business coach. I have several business coaches, but my primary business coach his name is Coach Ollie, and he has an amazing program online, a platform that he created, and that is everything, with the exception of just a couple things. I mean, it's just about everything that someone would need in order to learn how to create an online income, going with no experience, no background, and no clue what you could even do to make money online, and taking you to being able to make a small fortune online. Ollie himself, he was just a cop, and he was, I guess I shouldn't say just a cop. He was a highly decorated cop, and when he walked away, turned in his badge, people were like, "You're kidding me." And he did that in 2012, and turned in his badge, and he was so highly decorated, and people just like couldn't believe, how can you just walk away like this, But he had been through, in 2011, he had been put on the front lines for about a month, dealing with one of the worst riots in that part of the world at that time. And so that started to really, bring up some questions in his mind as to, why am I doing all this? And so anyway, he wasn't really out there looking, but someone, and it happened to be his brother, had started in about 7-8 years previously, had started making money online, and had become very successful at doing that. And Ollie knew my coach. His name is Ollie, and he knew his brother had bought a beautiful house and been traveling all around the world, and driving expensive cars. But as a police officer, those kinds of things just really were not a turn on to him, and he never really then asked, like, well, hey, where are you getting all this money from? And he just knew that his brother was doing very well in his business, And I suppose being a cop, that there's sometimes a situation where, particularly with a family member, you see a family member start just rolling in the money, and it's like, you just don't necessarily want to know. If you're a cop, you don't want to know where that money is coming from and if it's legit or not, or and so I'm sure there was some of that going on too. But anyway, one day Ollie got this phone call from his brother, and his brother says, Ollie, you really need to do what I'm doing. You can make as much money in a month as you can make in a whole year on the police force. So you can help a lot more people. So I know that's one of your driving motivations for being on the police force, is just simply to help a lot of people. And he says you can help a lot more people by helping them change their lives and benefit financially from improving their lives and stuff. And so you can do a lot more good. And I realize that you just don't know how. And if you're just willing to, kind of say, yes, I don't know how, because see, that's the first step of awareness, is what I've been saying for years. Awareness is the first step of growth, and being aware and saying, yes, I guess I don't know how, that way, then that opened the door to his brother to say, you don't have to know how. I will mentor you and I will teach you everything you need to know in order to be able to take and make a great deal of income. He says, well, I dropped out of college, and all I really ever known is policing. And so, like, how am I going to do this? His brother says, just trust me. So Ollie did. Ollie went ahead and trusted his brother and started to learn how to build an online business. And he had his own struggles. Ollie's a very social guy, like a lot of police officers are, because they're out there dealing with the public all day. And so, going from that scenario where you're dealing with and working with public and a very sociable and friendly type of chap, outgoing, that you're going from that to working on the computer every day. That's quite a shift. And so that was a struggle for Ollie once he got to the point where he was able to quit his job as a police officer. And so that was quite a shift and quite a shock, then. And things started, setting in, like doubts and like, well, I don't know, maybe I made a mistake, and these kinds of things. And but he persevered and he pushed forward, because he wasn't rolling in the dough then yet at that point. But so anyway, fast forward a little bit, and Ollie took him 2 years, but ended up, sure enough, just like his brother said, that making as much in a month as what he made on the police force in a year. And since then, he's gone on to making more money in a month than what he could think to make in the police force in 10 years. And so he's been very highly awarded for his business accomplishments of making money online. And he's a very sought out person, and people wanting to get his advice and everything. And he has over the years done what he calls private coaching, where he's helped people to go ahead and make money online. And he's done that and done well at that. But see, and then like what he's done, for instance, one of his products is a product where you can go ahead and write a book, and then this product turns it into an ebook. And there's particular formatting that's needed to be an ebook, and you put graphics and photo pictures in it, and get a cover on it, and all these kinds of things that go along with it. And so he his brother showed him how to connect with people that are software people that can make and create. If you got an idea, then they can create the product for you. And so that's an idea that came out of someone's head, that he went ahead and worked with software developers and created this product, and then they sold that, and usually in selling these products, you go out there and you set up a website, and you can then start to sell the product yourself. But you want to create an army of people that are called affiliates. Amazon has lots of affiliates. Just about every major company out there, if you go to the bottom of their website and see all the little words that are down there at the bottom, a lot of them you'll see listed an affiliate. You can, or take your favorite company, like Dick's Sporting Goods, for instance, and put in their affiliate program for Dick's Sporting Goods. And you'll find where a lot of companies offer, where they'll pay you a commission to go ahead and either market a product or market every product that they have. And so that's called an affiliate commission. And so typically then online, there are people around the world that make a very good income as affiliate. Just as an affiliate, they know how to market and sell products on the internet, and so you can build yourself up an army of these affiliates. You get yourself 100 or 200 of these affiliates that are going to sell your product. And let's say your product, that the average sale on your product is, let's say, $50, and I'm just making things simple at this point. But $50, and then you got 200 affiliates out there, and on average, each of those affiliates sells 25 of your products. Now let me see. If I can do the math, my phone's right here, and I changed the subject for tonight's topic, and I'll tell you more about that in a few moments here. But I just had a day where I'm just like, my brain is fried. So let's see, $50 per the product, and you got 200 affiliates, and they each sell an average of, 25 of your products. That's $250,000 of your product then. Now, and if you took and you created, it's an online product, and that you've got time, like all you had to pay for the software developers to develop the product, and it probably costs about $20,000 to do something like that, and there's other costs and expenses involved in everything. But let's say that all your expenses are $50,000, and your total sales are $250,000. Well, that leaves you $200,000, and these are digital products. So it's like when I read, just about everything I read is read online, and I have my Kindle, where I have a whole library of books. Now I take my library as I travel and go places. I take my library with me, or I used to take my first wife and I. We used to go on vacation, And between her and I, we would take a small suitcase just for the reading material that we're taking on vacation. And and so, because that's one of the things that we just really enjoyed doing, was relaxing and reading. It seemed like we didn't ever have time when we were working so hard. But then when we go on vacation, we just really enjoyed reading. But now, everything's on my Kindle. It's digital. And so it just gets downloaded. And so if you create digital products, then, what's the cost when they sell me one new ebook? What's the cost? It's digital. And so very little. And so in this example that I'm giving then, where you got $250,000 in sales, you got 200 affiliates, people that are selling your product. Now, and I said that on average, they'll sell 25 products. That's just an example. There are affiliates that'll sell hundreds of your product. And so, these are called super affiliates. And so you develop these relationships with these affiliates and these super affiliates. And that's where, Ollie's got products that he has created. And in a matter of 4 days, he has sold over $1 million worth of product. And so with these affiliates, they pay them 50% commission. And so in this example, taking and paying, you got an average of $50 on a sale. And so that's $25 per commission. And if you pay those affiliates $25 each, and we'll just do the math on that. That's $625. Now, to our standards in the United States for a week's worth of work, that's not a whole ton of money. But a lot of these guys are overseas, these super affiliates. And they're overseas where a good wage where they live is $15 to $20 a day is a really good money. And so in a week, $100 to $150 in a week, $200 a week is like great money. And so there they are. They market this product then, and they make $650 in a week on it. I mean, that's beyond great money. I mean, that's in a lot of these countries where these people come from, that's like rich type money, where they're rich, living rich on that kind of money. And so anyway, Ollie, he's got a whole army of affiliates, and he spent the last 2 years of his life over the last, again, he quit his job in 2012. So the last would be 9 years. He's been, rolling out product after product after product. And every year he's come out with 1 or 2 products that he's rolled out. And so he uses his army of affiliates. But being the cop that he is, he really wanted to be able to give people a break. Give common people a break. And so what he did is he went out and he created this online learning and coaching platform with just an amazing array of learning products in it, video courses, software, it's just things that I have bought. Like I've got this graphics program that I use, and a lot of my little thumbnail things for my YouTube videos are created with this, and it's called Pixabay, and it's a great program. But I bought that program, but Ollie, he put that program and many others in his platform, and that he works with all these people that create these programs and what have you, and he says, hey, can I buy the rights to your program? And so he buys the rights to their programs, and then he puts it in his platform. And so that's how he gets these software packages that I've had to pay money in the past for, and he makes them available to all of his students. And so he put together this complete amazing platform. It's all online. You go there and you can then learn how to create an income and create products that you develop and market, and even develop your own army of affiliates. But with this program, with this platform, it's called Launch My Empire. And I'll put a link after the video's over. I'll put a link down there in the description for it. But so then he went ahead and put this program or this platform together. He spent tens of thousands of dollars to create this platform. And then beyond that, he spent 2 years of his life, every last bit of time that he could come up with, and that he went ahead and poured into creating this platform. And it's one of the most amazing platforms and products that I've seen to teach people how to make money online. And so I got involved with all these platforms. Excuse me, I'm going to go ahead and take a sip of my Diet Coke here. I was like one of the, Ollie wanted to do a little test and open his platform up to 200 people. And I was one of the first 25 people to actually go ahead and he charges a whole $1 to check out his platform. And if you go ahead and after I get done making this video here tonight, I'll put the link down there in the description, and that link will allow you to go ahead and check out this platform for $1 as well. So, and then he says, yeah, and if you don't stick around for 30 days, then I'll even refund your money, 100% your money back. Because you see, for $1, you get to kind of go and look everything over for 5 days, and then after 5 days, you charge your card for $47 because the platform then is $47 a month. And so then within 30 days, if you decide that, yeah, I just don't really want to do anything with this, then you just send an email in to the support center there. Easy to do. And it says, yeah, please cancel my membership, and they'll give you your $47 back plus your $1. Or if you cancel before 5 days, they'll give you your $1 back and they're not charge you $47. Or then they offer you, after you spend the $1, then he offers you a special offer that is a VIP membership with lots of extra benefits. And that's a one-time cost. It's not monthly ongoing or anything like that. It's a one-time cost of $67. And I went ahead and I took advantage of that and became a VIP member. I'm really glad that I did that. And I encourage you, if something you're interested in, then I encourage you to take up that offer as well for the $67 and become a VIP member. You can get some really great benefits from that. And all you, after you when you click on this link that I'll provide you in the description later, then Ollie will tell you all about the VIP membership and what you get for it and all that kind of stuff. But it's really great. And so anyway, so Ollie could take and market this platform. It's $47 a month, and he can market it then through his network of affiliates, his army of affiliates. And he's got a couple hundred affiliates that he calls on whenever he, has a new product to sell. And so he decided with this platform, he wanted to give people a break. People who have either never tried an online business before or have tried it but never really been able to succeed at it and just been struggling at it. And so he says, hey, come on, become one of my students. He has a live coaching session every single week that he does, where he will be there to answer any questions that come around and things like that. And you got customer support, where anytime you have questions, you can send it into customer support. And he's got a complete support staff that he pays every month. And so Ollie, he invested a lot of money in setting this whole thing up, and he could very easily go out there and right away, sell a couple thousand of these memberships at $47 a month by letting his affiliate army have this to sell. And they'd get really excited about it because it's a great product. But all he decided, he really wanted to give people a break. And so that he decided to not make the whole program public, but to only make it available through a special invitation of by people who are in his program. And then they have the opportunity to go ahead and utilize and practice on. So like for me, now, see, I really want to take in and do a couple things. Kat and I are magnetic transformation coaches, and I want to be able to help people who live in a non-monogamous life, or people who are living a monogamous life but want to live a non-monogamous life. I want to help them to be able to do that through our Elf Academy. And that's our academy where we teach and help people to live easy, liberated, and fun lives. And so I want to be able to take and market that online. So that's kind of like why I'm doing this YouTube stuff, and that I'm going to become an expert in this YouTube. And so in all these got stuff to teach you how to do YouTube as well. Just that I wanted to become one of the best and be trained by the best, because my goals are much bigger. I think I've shared here before that I've got goals to make $200,000 a month, and not to personally be some rich guy. I'm comfortable making a decent living, but I'm not into spending a lot of money on fancy stuff. I'm a minimalist. My whole thing is making the biggest impact I can possibly make for non-monogamy. And so one of the things that I want to do is just one of the things is to create a music company that is going to be a record label, and it's going to. I see that somebody else has joined us here this evening. Thank you for joining us, and go ahead and let us know in the comments where you're joining us from, what city, state, if you're outside the United States, what country, and if you have any questions. Tonight's going to be Q&A, questions and answers. And so I'm just talking about, kind of some things that I've been involved with. And so if you have any questions or questions, go ahead and post those in the comments as well. But so anyway, getting back to it here. So Ollie, so I could learn how to do YouTube with some of the resources on his program, but and I'd make a good living doing that, but not going to get to where I want to make $200,000 a month. And so that's where I felt that it was worth the investment to hire this really top-notch specialist to teach me everything, the little tricks and everything I need to learn in order to really make a big income. And so I want to, like I said, make $200,000 a month, because I want to take and have this music company that is going to make music about non-monogamy. When you listen to a lot of our music, whether you're listening to any genre, or R&B or rock or country or pop or whatever, it's always like monogamous messages. And so I want to put out some really great hit type music that's going to be non-monogamous messages and change our culture. And to do that, it's going to cost me about $10 million. And so I need to make a lot of money to be able to afford that. And if I can make $2,000 a month, then I figure I can get that off and going. And over time, it'll cost me about $10 million. But I can have the money to invest into that. Another thing I want to do is I want to create clothing optional, ethically and consensually non-monogamous resorts around the world, where we'll have resorts and communities where people can even buy a retirement villa there and live there, or you can buy a timeshare, or they can just come for a 1 week's vacation, or just for a couple nights. But it'd be clothing optional, and be somewhere where sex is encouraged, and that it's ethical and consensual and non-monogamous. And as long as you are ethical and consensual and being non-monogamous, we encourage it. And so I want to create some of those resorts then around the world. And so there's a lot of things that we have that we want to do, make a big impact for non-monogamy, but these things take a lot of money. And so anyway, that's where I need to make a lot of money. And so with Ollie's program, I decided to go ahead and market that program to a particular niche, a group of people in the United States. Well, I'll go ahead and share this. I hope that nobody's, I'm not worried about somebody trying to compete with me on this. That's why I'm spending the money I'm doing it. I'll be the best at doing this. But anyway, marketing and all these programs to police officers, because he's a retired, or not retired. He's not retired. He quit and did not retire, but he was a highly decorated police officer. And I think other police officers, what they've been through this past year, I think they'll really relate with Ollie very well. And a lot of those people, I mean, I see articles, and you can look them up on the internet, you know, that police officers are out there quitting their jobs, and they're looking, how can I don't want to be in law enforcement anymore. How do I get out of law enforcement? And so there's a lot of opportunity there. In the United States, there are 665,000 men and women in blue as police officers, you know, that are out there on the streets. That does not even include all the other law enforcement personnel, you know, the detectives and the investigators, and I don't know, you know, the people who work in the precincts and in the offices, and the people who take care of the cars, and I don't even know what all they are, but you know, in total, there's probably about, in the United States alone, there's about 2 million police people involved in law enforcement. Now that doesn't count the like the FBI and things like that as well. But you know, so we just shoot for 2 million, and if I got just one person out of every 10,000 people that are in law enforcement on my program, well, again, let's take the phone here and see if we do the math. And so if there's, say, 2 million people divided by every 10,000, and if I had just one out of 10,000, then I'd have 200 people that I'd have signed up on my program. I had one out of 1,000, I'd have 2,000 people signed up on this program. Now, Ollie, as being that he allows us to be his affiliates, then he pays us a commission. And so with 200 people, my commission is $4,700 a month. Now that's ongoing every month. And so it's like a residual perpetual income, you know, it's passive. And I don't have to, Ollie does everything for all the work that needs to be done in the program and all. I just kind of collect my check every month. Now, if I had instead of 200 people, if I had 2,000 people, then the income from that would be $47,000 a month. And so there's great potential here. And so that's why I am spending a great amount of resources to learn how to really hone in and target police, law enforcement, people who work in law enforcement through YouTube. And so, again, I mean, just 200 people, you know, that'd be one out of every 10,000. And so, I mean, that's like 1% would be one out of 100. A tenth of 1% would be one out of 1,000. And so that's like ridiculous. Most marketing is you're looking at being able to get a 1 to 3% return on your marketing. You know, so like if anybody who takes and runs like an ad, that basically then 1 to 3% of the people that see the ad respond. Well, to be honest with you, with 2 million people, if I got 1%, you know, I mean, what would that be? 2 million people, 1% would be 200,000, no, 20,000. It'd be 20,000 people. And so, I mean, that would just blow me away. That'd make me over 200 grand right there every month. It'd be like $500,000 a month that would make me. But so anyway, you know, I don't know what to expect. I'm new at all of this. And so I'm very excited about working and the work I'm doing and building this up. And this is one of the things that on this weekly report I haven't done for a while is really kind of talk to you about what I'm really focusing on. And that's the one thing, because then creating and what I do, really what I do best and my desire here is to create joint venture partnerships with people who are living ethically and consensually non-monogamous lives, so that I can take and help you to create a great income. And so if you can imagine, if you can make an extra $10,000 a month online, and maybe, be working 15 hours a week to make $10,000 a month, wouldn't that create an amazing life for you? For most of my audience, it would. And so, that's where I really want to help my audience to do that. I have a goal of by 2025 to help 1,000 people to make $10,000 a month. And so that's just one of my targets. I want to help by the end of the decade. I want to help 10,000 people make $10,000 a month. People who are living an ethically and consensually non-monogamous life, I want to help them to live a financially liberated life and a sexually liberated life, and have that life then be, as we say over at the Elf Academy, an elf life. That's an easy, a liberated, and a fun life. You see, because there's a lot of rich people that don't live an easy life. There's a lot of rich people that don't live a liberated life. That's why there's a lot of cheating going on sexually, and other ways. And they don't live a liberated life at all. And then there's a lot of rich people that don't live a fun life. And so that's where we focus at the Elf Academy, helping people to really learn how to create a life that is easy, liberated, and fun, that maximizes your satisfaction and pleasure in the three categories that we commonly talk about. And that is your work and wealth, your love, sex, and relationships, and your health and wellness. And so I have taken, and liberated my life sexually, as many of you know. In fact, I'm excited to be seeing my girlfriend this week, and I haven't seen her in 4 weeks. It's crazy. Here in California, and I used to watch Jay Leno, the late night show with Jay Leno, and he would joke when it rained in Southern California, and he would joke about the rain. I always had these jokes about the rain, and I just thought, oh, that's interesting. But, it's real. I mean, when it rains here in Southern California, now I'm from Seattle, and being a guy from Seattle, it's like rain, you just couldn't carry on with your life. But here in Southern California, people shut down when it rains. I remember when we moved here, Kat and I moved here 4 years ago, about 6 months later, that we had gone and joined some meetups group on meetup.com. And we had this meetup we were going to go to this one night. And then it was raining a little bit, not hard, but it was just raining a little bit. But they called off the meetup. I couldn't believe it. But that's how they roll here in Southern California. It shuts down, kind of like Seattle over this weekend. My girlfriend in Seattle, she had 12 inches of snow, and so in Seattle it shuts down when they get snow, but rain, and so here 4 weeks ago, it was supposed to rain, and so my girlfriend, her husband says, hey, I really don't want you out driving to go off and see Mark because I'm really afraid this is going to rain. And so she went ahead and she sent me a text and let me know that she couldn't see me that day because, doesn't think it's going to be a very good idea if she gets, it wasn't raining when she would have been leaving, but after spending a couple of hours from me, it possibly could have been raining, and then she would have been driving home in the rain, and she nor her husband really wanted her to do that. And that's how people roll here in California. When it rains, they shut down. And so she canceled, called off our date for that. And then the next week after that, then I was in Palm Springs. And so, we had our date canceled for that. And then the week after that, and then she went down to San Diego to cat sit for her mom while her mom took a little trip. And so she sitting for her mom, and so that was last week, and so then I'm going to see her this week. Looking forward to it. It's been 4 weeks since we've been together, and we have a really, really great time. And we just have play dates. That's the thing that we like to do the most. So I see somebody else popped in here. Join us. Thanks for joining us. If you have any questions and you want to ask, feel free to answer them or to ask them. Excuse me. This is just a Q&A session here tonight, and so I come here so that if people have any questions, that I'm happy to answer any questions. And so just put it in the chat box, and I'll be happy to get to that. And so I'm talking about then right now. I'm talking about then my coach, my business coach, where he has this great platform where he helps people to be able to learn all about how to transition their life from being, or in his case, being a former police officer. He says he went from the front line to the online. And so I am focusing on helping other police officers from around the United States do the same thing, go from the front line to online, by introducing them to Ollie's program and his platform. And like I said, then I'll put at the end of this video, I'll put a link when I'm all done here tonight. It's not there now, but I'll put a link down there in the description and to this program. If you ever want to take a look at it, it's $1 to take a good look at it. You get to then have 5 days where you can peruse around in there for that $1. I do recommend, because after you go ahead and get the $1 trial, then Ollie's going to offer you, and you're only going to get it offered one time. But it's a $67 one-time upgrade, and where you can become a VIP member. I did that, and I highly recommend it. I let Ollie tell you all about that, so he'll tell you about the VIP program and all that kind of stuff. And so you give the $1, you give your debit card or credit card for $1, and then you go ahead and get the VIP. It's $67 if you got that. After 5 days, what happens if you send them an email and say, and the email address is sent to your email, so you've got it right there, and just say, hey, cancel my program. If you do that before 5 days, then they give you your $1 back. And if you do the VIP upgrade, they give you your $67 plus your $1. They give you $68 back. So they give you a full refund. Now, then actually you've got a 30-day money-back guarantee on the program, where if you go ahead and cancel, just send that email into the customer support anytime in 30 days and say, cancel my program, then they'll give you a full refund. So what happens after 5 days is they'll go ahead and charge your card for $47, because the program is $47 a month. And so at that point, if you didn't get the VIP membership, you've spent $48, and anytime within 30 days, you can get full refund. They'll give you your $48 back. Otherwise, because when I took and saw what he did and his platform, what he offers for $47 a month would run you. I personally have paid over $1,000 for that kind of a thing. And so it's just a great value if you are wanting to ever consider taking your own income and making an online income. But so anyway, then if you happen to get the VIP upgrade, then that means you spent $67 plus $1 to get your trial, and that'd be $68. And then after 5 days, they bill your credit card or debit card for $47. And so then that's 60 plus 40, it's $108, $115 that you would have spent at that point. And if within 30 days you want to cancel, then they'll give you all $115 back. I mean, it's no big deal, because Ollie is just there wanting to provide something that's going to be of great benefit and helping people like it's helped me, and helped. He's got many students now that he's helping, and so if something you're interested in, take a look at it. And that's something that we're doing right now. And I am doing this YouTube advertising programs, getting a very high level consultant to teach me some of the really fine-tuned tips and tricks in order to learn some really great things
on being able to put an ad out there on YouTube. And so I've been really jammed for time, and then I fell behind in getting my work done on that. And like I say, when I'm behind, that means that the program is going to be delayed and go on longer, and it's going to be more expensive. And so anyway, I have been really working hard this last week on getting caught up, and I was last week wanting to get this one process done. It's called the scripting, where you're scripting your YouTube ad, and I wanted to get that done last week and did not get that completed. And I worked hard all weekend long on it. I am, by the way, unwrapping one of my homemade chocolate bars. And my partner Chris, my girlfriend, and Chris and I, we make chocolate together from bean to bar, and it's just a lot of fun to do. So I'm going to snack on that a little bit tonight as I talk to you. But so anyway, I worked through the weekend and trying to get done, caught up and stuff, and just didn't happen. And so I worked today. I worked, and tonight's video was going to be on use of conditional words. And but I just mentally am kind of fried. You might even be able to notice that, and just in how I'm rambling on here, I'm just mentally kind of fried. And so I decided tonight that I just really wasn't mentally in a place to go ahead and tackle that topic using conditional words. And so with that, I decided to go ahead and change the topic at the last minute. This was 10 minutes to 8. And I says, I can't get this all set up and ready in 10 minutes. So I made the start of the video then at 8:05 instead of 8 o'clock. And we'll get to that topic in a couple of weeks. We'll come back around to it. But so let me take a bite here. I got some videos on my channel about my girlfriend Chris and I making our chocolate. There's a couple more left to do in the series, but this is the chocolate we're making. It's really good. This is let me remember. I mean, this is 63% or 57% dark milk chocolate. Semi-sweet, it would be called, but this is just really good. So, anyway, that's why you got me here tonight with kind of just some Q&As. I get emails all the time asking questions and messages all the time I get sent to me asking questions, and I try to take and keep up on those. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. And but like one question I got recently, kind of interesting. I didn't know anything about the person who sent me the question. She said in her message to me, she says, I'm a college student, and since I was a young girl, I've wanted to have sex with my dad. He's single. I live with my dad, and I just still want to have sex with him. Now, she says, then last year, I went ahead and had sex for my first time. That's the only time I've ever had sex so far. Just one time with one person, a guy, and it just wasn't all that satisfying. And I can't help but just to want to have sex with my dad. She says, do you think it's wrong for me to want to have sex with my dad? Or do you think it's wrong for me to have sex with my dad? And so that's an interesting question. And I thought about that for a while. In our society, going back to last week's lesson of, the discussion that we had about the norms and mores about sex, you see, and I know when I was living my religious life, that's what finally I woke up to is I had become so religious. I just felt like there was only one way to live your life, and you had better live your life the way that I think you should live your life. And if you didn't, then I'm going to try to tell you how you should be living it. And, and these guys, they go off into the politics and what have you, and then try to make laws and governing morality, telling you this is right and this is wrong. In the United States, it used to be that someone's 12 years old could give consent to have sex for anybody. And then they decided, well, we need to govern morality, and so let's make that not 12 years old. Let's change that, but let's make it so that each state can decide what's right for them. So now in the United States, like where I'm at now in California, the age of consent is 18. Now in Seattle, it's 16. And so most states are either 16 or 18. But then suddenly once you turn 18, you could have whatever sex you want with anybody, whoever you want, it's like no big deal. Well, like what makes 18 the magic number? What makes 16 in Washington State and those other states that 16 is the age of consent? What makes 16 the magic number? Why not 12? In the Philippines, the age of consent is 12. And now there's some covet around that. Like Kat and I, we would like to take and live in the Philippines, and we're on our way to the Philippines before this whole COVID hit. We had our plane tickets, and we're going to spend 3 weeks there, and then come back here, and then be going back for shortly thereafter to kind of get an apartment and all. And so if you're a foreigner in the Philippines, then you better not get caught even in the same room with anybody under 18 without their parent. Because if you are, you're going to go to jail. Because there's a lot of people in the Philippines that will take advantage of that. You're either going to go to jail or you're going to get bribed and threatened. They'll see you, like particularly if you're a white guy or even a black guy, and they'd say, "Oh, I saw you were in that room talking to this underage minor. She's not 18, and you're not supposed to do that." And so, you give me $100. Now, average wage in the Philippines is $8 to $10 a day. But you give me $100 and we won't say anything. Or you can take it up with the jail keeper. So, of course, then you give them $100, And so that's where if you're a foreigner in the Philippines, just don't even go there. Make sure that whoever you're talking to, I'm not talking about having sex. I'm just talking about talking to. Make sure that whoever you are talking to, you ask them if you think there's any question at all about how old they are and whether they're under or over 18, then ask them to see their ID if they're in a room alone with you, not, and talking to you. Or make sure you know what the law is, because you can get yourself in a lot of trouble if you don't. But so, yeah, in the Philippines, though, the age of consent is 12 years old. And there's a lot of 12-year-old little girls over there that get pregnant, and because they don't use birth control over there like very, very much like we do here. And there's a lot of 12-year-old little girls over there that get pregnant, and a lot of times it's relatives and older men and things like that, and it's all just fine. And so this gal, then she sends me this email, and she says, "Do you think it's wrong for me to want to have sex with my dad?" So I did a little bit of research on this, and we all, of course, know what was that word, pedophilia, an adult pedophilia. That's the word I'm looking for. I said my brain's a little on the fried side tonight, but we all know, about pedophilia and all. And now I have my thoughts on that, and that I believe that there's situations that are child abuse, and then there's situations where it's abusive to the child not to let them have the freedom to have sex with whoever they want to have sex. And but so, of course, in the United States, if you're over the age of, I think, 20, and if you have sex with someone under the age of 18, then you are labeled a pedophile. Well, you know, there's another term called telephile or telephile or something like that. And there's this is becoming a really a mounting thing. It's growing bigger and bigger, where it's these young people, boys and girls, who just find that I'm not really interested in having sex. I'm not attracted to people my own age. I'm attracted to older people. And that's why when you get to be, when young ladies turn 18 and young men turn 18, it's very common that they go out and they seek out people to have sex with that are 10, 20, 30, and 40 years older. And that's very common in the Philippines as well. You know, that if you go over there and you're wanting to have a really just a hot, wonderful partner date, you know, whether it be for dating or for a real relationship or whatever, you know, it's not uncommon to have someone between the age of 18 to 25 dating someone that's between the age of 50 and 70, you know, and because there's just this attraction. And it's many different reasons for this attraction. And I benefit from that myself, you know, and that I seem to attract a lot of younger women that are very interested in me and having sex with me, or having sex with me and Kat. And I enjoy that. I enjoy the relationships as well. But just in my case, yeah, I'm going to make sure that they're over the age of 18. And so this gal, she turns out that it's a back and forth, getting to know a little more details. She's 18 years old, her first year of college, and she's then saying, is it wrong that I want to have sex with my dad? And I told her, I says, my opinion shouldn't matter to you, because the truth of the matter is that nobody's opinion should matter. This is something that I think is only going to be something that you should know and settle for yourself, what is right for you or what is wrong for you. Why should someone else tell you what is right for you or what is wrong for you? That's like someone trying to tell me in my non-monogamous life that it's wrong because it's not monogamous. You know, and so it was kind of like I wrote a really solid email to her and telling her that you know, my opinion shouldn't matter to her, whether I thought it was right or wrong. All that should matter is that first, that she decides whether it's right or wrong, and second, that she then goes ahead and has a conversation. You see, we should be able to communicate about anything. And so she should be able to go to her dad and you know, I know it's a scary thing, but she should be able to go to her dad and have a conversation. And this is what then I did some coaching with her to be able to go to her dad and have this conversation and says, but Dad, I have wanted to have sex with you like since I was a little girl. And so anyway, they had sex and they are enjoying a lovely sexual life together now. And they had sex the first time a couple months ago, and now it's been very ongoing. And they're both really enjoying it. And I just personally see absolutely nothing wrong with that. I know there are laws about it and all this kind of stuff, and it's taboo. But, you know, again, then who's to say whether that is right or wrong then, and why? You know, yes, there's the whole idea about, you know, getting pregnant and then having the baby and having some deformities and all that kind of thing. But the truth is that only happens when you have an ongoing issue where you got that going on from generation, generation. But one or two generations, you aren't going to have any more abnormalities than what is seen commonly with people that aren't having sex with relatives. And so I just don't really think that should be all that hung up on it. But so anyway, that was an interesting question, and I hope that you found it interesting as well. And that's how, I just feel about the matter. And so, if you have questions, feel free to email them to me. My email address is down below. I'm going to jump over real quick now because we're kind of running up against our hour, and I'm going to share my screen and just run through real quick these slides that I've got done here for tonight. There we go. And I'm looking around here. I don't know where I put my clicker. Oh, well, we'll go ahead and just do it this way. So our live Q&A. And so before diving into this topic, though, there are 4 fantastic added benefits for watching the video. And so we'll tell you about it. I didn't tell you about them earlier. We're going to tell you about them now. And these benefits are beyond what your takeaway is from the video. And so the first one is to take a look and see your 100% free gift thanking you for watching the video. That's linked down there in the description. And it's a great gift. So I hope you'll take advantage of that. The second is to get a free subscription to our value-packed emails. Third is a free membership in the ELF. That's Easy, Liberated, and Fun Academy. And fourth is to watch the video here for a 92% discount on our premier 16-week course called 3 Steps to Create Your Easy, Liberated, and Fun Life Magnetically. And so go ahead and be watching here, and we'll come up with the discount code for you on that. But there is a link down there in the description, and so that if you want to check that out, just click on the link for that. But let's go ahead, and I ask you here to just for me, please subscribe to my channel. It really helps to get my videos more visible and recommended more by YouTube. Same thing as after you subscribe, hit the bell to let people know that you want to know when I have any new videos loaded on or when I'm on live like I am tonight. Give the video a like. That helps as well, and make a comment. And then the last thing is make sure you ask questions. I love when people ask questions. And so then here's that discount code. Discount 92, discount all in capitals, the word discount all in caps, and then the numbers 92, no space between there, discount 92. And so if you want to take a look at our 16-week course, this week we are in week 6. And so if you were to take and get on that tomorrow, for instance, use the discount code, find out how great the price is for you, then you'd be able to join us Wednesday. We do it's a live course we do every Wednesday for 16 weeks. And then you would also get the recordings to the previous 5 weeks that we've done. And that's going through those 3 steps to living an easy, liberated, and fun life. And the people that are there in the course, they're just giving us great feedback because, most people don't live a life that's easy. And they don't live a life that's liberated, and they don't live a life where they have enough fun. And so we're helping to change the course for people's lives and helping them to live a life that is truly easy, liberated, and fun. And so I've got a little self-test here because, see, when you're living a life that's easy, liberated, and fun, we want you to maximize the satisfaction and pleasure that you get on an hour-by-hour and day-by-day basis. And so ask yourself and become aware. Does what I am doing this moment, does it add to my satisfaction and pleasure, or does it take away from my satisfaction and pleasure? And if it's taken away from your satisfaction and pleasure, that's a clear signal that says, whoa, stop and sort this out. Figure out what you need to do so that you're going to be adding to your satisfaction and pleasure, because that's going to help you to be of the greatest value in the world. Because when you have more satisfaction and pleasure in your life, you can't help but to give other people more satisfaction and pleasure. I've used the example of Henry Ford. I could use the example of Bill Gates and Paul Allen, or of Steve Jobs and his partner for Apple computers, where they got a lot of satisfaction and pleasure from creating the products that they created. But so did a lot of other people too, including me. I had a lot of satisfaction and pleasure here using Windows on my computer. And I don't have an Apple computer. I've got what do they call them? It's a Windows-based computer. And so I get a lot of satisfaction and pleasure from my computer. Some frustration once in a while too. Like yesterday, Microsoft went ahead and shut my computer down when I was at dinner. And when they opened it back up, did an update. It's like it should be against the law that they could just shut it down because I lost some files. And no, they're not all saved. And so, when it opens back up, I think I had like 5 files that had not ever been saved, and unsaved documents. And 2 of them came back and saying, hey, we saved these for you. 2 of them, but not all 5. And so I lost 3 documents. And that's just wrong. But anyway, neither here nor there. But so yeah, ask yourself, is it adding to your satisfaction and pleasure, or is it taking away? Because when you add more satisfaction and pleasure to your life, there's no way possible that you can add more satisfaction and pleasure to your life day after day after day after day without adding satisfaction and pleasure to other people's lives. And yes, we're talking about sex. Certainly, the more sex you can have with more people more often, you're adding satisfaction and pleasure to a lot of other people as well. And so we ask you if you want to transition and thrive with Non-Monogamous Lifestyles Association. That's what we do. We help people to live ethical and consensual non-monogamous lives, having more sex with more people and more often, creating an easy, liberated, and fun life magnetically, maximizing your satisfaction and pleasure. We do that in a natural, normal, and moral, helping you to have a natural, normal, and moral life, having more sex with more people more often. Because yes, I believe having more sex with more people more often is natural. I believe it's normal, and I believe it's moral. And I defy anybody to tell me that it's not those 3, as long as you're being ethically and consensual about doing it. And then living, as part of what we do at Non-Monogamous Lifestyles Association, is to help you to live how and where you are treated best, and doing what treats you best with who treats you best, for living the best authentic life that you can live. Living your best authentic life, ELF, that's an easy, liberated, and fun, ethically and consensually non-monogamous life. Magnetically creating a life that you love the most, maximizing your satisfaction and pleasure, having more safe and consensual sex with more people more often. And so that's what we do at Non-Monogamous Lifestyles Association. And so please, for me, remember to subscribe, hit the bell, give the video a like, comment, and ask questions. And so that's it then for tonight. And let me just see if there's any comments there left for me. And if you have a comment or a question, I'm happy to answer it. And otherwise, then as I'm a little scatterbrained tonight, just kind of fried and burned out my brain, actually. But appreciate your putting up with me here on this video tonight. And thanks for spending the time with me. Have a good evening. Bye.